Hi everyone, it's Pam from Ink on My Whiskers, and today we're going to be making this fall themed For You card using the Fun Fall Framelits. So let's get started. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is cut out our little leaves using the Fall Fest Framelits and some scraps of Whisper White. These squares are 1.5 inches. And you could just trim them with a paper trimmer, or if you have a 1.5 inch square punch, that would work fine too. I'm particularly lazy, and so what I did was I used my square framelits and the leaf framelit at the same time. You just run it through the Big Shot all together, and then you get your square and the leaf all in one piece, which is just a little bit faster. Once you have those pieces, we're going to add some color to them. And I picked some juicy fall colors here. I've got Always Artichoke, Cajun Craze, and some crushed curry. And when it comes to sponging, you can do this several different ways. What I like to do is kind of scrape the edges of the square with my sponge to begin with, and that gives a very sort of dark look right around the edges. And then I wanted color on most of this square, so then I went and just pounced. You can tell I like cats. I like the word pounce. You pounce your sponge very lightly over top of your white square, and then you get that nice sort of speckled effect. So there's our Always Artichoke, and we'll do some Cajun Craze exactly the same way. A little bit of pouncing. What's nice about the pouncing too is that it adds very light color to start with. So if you start with too much color, you're kind of stuck, because then you can't take any color off. But with the sponging, it's actually really easy with this method to just add more color if you need it. So you can make it as dark or as light as you prefer. There. It's going to be quite dark, which means I think I want to go back to my artichoke one and add just a little bit more color. Just like that. If you're wondering about the tags on the ends of my sponge, a few years ago Stampin' Up! Had a label punch. I think they called it the tab punch. And I just use a stapler and mark the names of my sponges so that I know what color is on which sponge. You can do that with just about anything. If you have as many colors of sponges as I do running around, it's nice to have them all labeled. Okay, those out of the way. And then I'm just going to pull in. I have 3 squares of the same colors as inks. And I'm going to just put some dimensionals on the backs of each of my white squares, and then just layer them up on the solid colored cardstock that matches. So there's our Cajun Craze. Like so. Always Artichoke, and our crushed curry. Alright, I'm going to grab our card base, which is baked brown sugar, and this is cut at 8.5 inches by 5.5 inches. I've scored it at the 4 1/4 inch mark. And I also have a piece of Whisper White cardstock. This one has been cut at 5¼ inches by 2¾ inches, and I've embossed it already on the Big Shot using the chevron embossing folder, this nice little zigzag pattern. I'm going to glue that right onto our card base. Whenever I'm using an embossed piece of paper, I adore this adhesive called Fast Fuse. It's much stronger than our regular snail, and it just attaches those bumpy layers so much nicer than just our regular snail does. That's not going to go anywhere at all. Okay, and then I'm going to glue our little colored squares. And the way I lined these up was I kind of eyeball a nice distance from the edge of the white on two sides. I'm also alternating the direction of the leaves. Trying to get those to kind of match up. And then the last one, you're able to just center between the two panels that you've already set. So then everything should stick together quite nicely. All right, almost done. We're going to use the Essentials wooden elements, and I've picked this little banner piece.